presented your white coats, we would invite you and all the other PAs in the audience and on the stage with me to please stand to repeat the physician assistant oath. The rest of the audience may follow along. It's printed in the program. I pledge
to perform the following duties with honesty and dedication. I will hold as my primary responsibility the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings. I will uphold the tenets of patient autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. I will recognize and promote the value of diversity. I will treat equally all persons who seek my care. I will hold in confidence the information shared in the course of practicing medicine. I will assess my personal capabilities and limitations, striving always to improve my medical practice. I will actively seek to expand my knowledge and skills, keeping abreast of advances in medicine. I will work with other members of the healthcare team to provide compassionate and effective care of patients. I will use my knowledge and experience to contribute to an improved community.
We have the privilege this afternoon to present a few awards, the first of which is the Program Educator Excellence Award. This award is to honor an individual outside of the principal faculty who has made significant contributions to our students' education in the classroom as part of their didactic education, out of the classroom during their clinical education, or in both of these realms. I am very excited to present this award to someone who has participated in multiple aspects of our students' progress and their education. He has remained a strong supporter of our program even before the inaugural cohort of students began their journey. He volunteered to participate in the Program Advisory Committee and eagerly lectured during their second quarter, and many more to follow. In addition, he also served as an ALE preceptor with applied learning experiences as described previously. He continued his participation hosting students in clinical rotations. With over 32 years experience practicing in the medical community, we are grateful for his participation in the medical education of our students. He has recently been recognized with a clinical faculty title from the South University College of Health Professions in recognition of contributions to our program and to the continuing education of healthcare providers. We are pleased to honor Dr. Furman as our first Program Educator Excellence Award recipient.
I am pleased today to present the highest academic achievement award to Danielle Boo.
I get a chance now to take my turn to thank all of you for being here and all the people who helped Joel get to this day. My wife is a PA who is a couple years behind me, so I have the unique knowledge of what it's like to have a PA student in your life and how much fun that can be at times. Despite knowing everything, exactly what to expect, it's still a challenge. So kudos to all of you who've been through these past 2 years. I personally apologize if anyone ever got a call about a robot who died unfairly or diagnosed they couldn't figure out. That was my fault. I'm very sorry. But I'm happy that you all went through and we're here to celebrate. So congratulations. And congratulations to all of you, the class of 2019. I don't know why anyone hasn't said that yet. Congratulations. You have all done an amazing job during your short tenure with time and time again to maintain professionalism and to promote an atmosphere of honesty, cooperation, positive attitude, competence, and respect in all that you do. It's a concept that is at the heart of our profession, and it's at the heart of PA education. You have all risen to the occasion, and we have been impressed by all of you. We do, however, want to recognize one of you with our Professionalism Award. There were several candidates and significant debate among the faculty. However, in the end, we were able to identify someone who we felt exemplified the idea of what it meant to be a professional. This student is a great example of one who possesses critical thinking talents, communication skills, observational understanding, and interpersonal abilities required to be an excellent PA. It is my honor to present the Professionalism Award to Aaron Collins. I've also been given a couple minutes to give you some final advice on behalf of the faculty up here, and I promise I'll be brief. All right. For me, the reality of this day coming came about 4 months ago when I needed a patient, where I had a patient who needed a very specialized procedure. I called up that specialist office. The staff there said, "No worries, we'll get to it. We'll get right on it." I logged in the next morning, and I saw a note with one of your names on the top of it. And I thought, huh. And I clicked on it and I opened the note, and it was actually a good note. It was miles above the first note that I'd ever read from that person. All right? And there was part of me that was proud. And that's the great part about today, is that today, you guys are no longer our students. Today, you become our colleagues. So here is my advice on what lies ahead. Whether you like it or not, be prepared to be accountable for everything that you do. There's a lot on your shoulders now, but we know that you are up to the task. Every patient that crosses your threshold will be experiencing his or her own personal crisis, right? No matter how mundane it may seem, and they are expecting you to fix it. Good luck. You will meet people with serious and terminal conditions, whether they know it or not. You will become acutely aware of some of the unsavory social situations that your patients are forced to endure. They will look to you for your protection. They will look for your advice. And they will look to you to be their advocate. Many of them you'll be able to help. You have all these great skills that you've built up over the last 2 years. You will help them navigate their impairments. You will educate them. You will fight for what you think they need. And you will help them overcome whatever disabilities they have. Some of them will really challenge you. They will all be wonderfully complicated, and they will shape you as a provider and as a person. And you are all very different people now than when I met you the first week of school. There will be times when you don't know what to do and times when you are uncomfortable. You have gained an incredible amount of knowledge over the last 2 years, but please be able to recognize that when you just don't know something, be able to admit that to yourself and be able to admit that to your patients. Then use your resources to go figure out that answer so you can keep learning and growing as a provider. Some of your patients might have a problem that's unfixable. You might have to tell them that. Remember that just because a patient has an unfixable problem does not mean that you can't help them in another way. You will have the honor of standing beside your patients and their families while they experience fear, pain, grief, joy, and relief. You will develop unique relationships with everyone that you encounter, and everyone you encounter will come to rely on you. At my white coat ceremony, one of our mentors shared with us a story about a girl on a beach. It was a lesson in perseverance and the desire to do good that has stuck with me and every one of my fellow graduates since that day, and we still on occasion talk about it. So as my parting gift, I want to share that story with you. It goes like this. One day an old man was walking down the beach, enjoying the morning sun and the cool breeze from the ocean. As he walked far off in the distance, he saw what looked like someone dancing. As he drew closer, the man noticed it was a little girl picking up starfish from the shore and tossing them back into the ocean. As he approached the girl, he paused for a moment, kind of puzzled, then asked, "Young lady, why are you throwing starfish into the ocean?" And she replied, "Well, the sun is going up and the tide is going out. If I leave these starfish on the beach, the sun will dry them up and they will surely die." The man looked around and replied, "But there are thousands of starfish washed up all along the beach for miles. You can't possibly make a difference." The young girl thought for a moment. Then she slowly leaned over, carefully picked up another starfish, reached back, and threw it as far as she could into the ocean. She then turned to the man and said, "You may be right, but I made a difference for that one." I encourage all of you as you start this new chapter in your life to strive to always make a difference in your world, one starfish at a time. Good luck, keep learning, congratulations.
Good afternoon. My name is Lacey Tudor. I'm one of the principal faculty here at South University. I just want to start off by telling you all congratulations to my new colleagues. I am incredibly proud of every single one of you. You've climbed the mountain, you've gotten here with only the pants or the feet to go. Remember to look back and give a helping hand to those trying to get to the same place you are. It's incredibly important to move our profession forward. The final award we have for this afternoon is the Physician Assistant Peer Award. This is an award voted on by the students in the current cohort. This student has demonstrated to his or her colleagues the quality of an excellent healthcare provider. The class voted for this student as the one they would most likely want to treat one of their family members that they love.
Yeah.
I am happy to announce that the recipient of this award is Natalie C.